Everywhere you go, you say that you come from Ambazonia or Cameroon. People are saying that we people are killing each other. It's very bad. We should stop this shame. This is a war of shame. We came into this union by ourselves, the English people. We rejected Nigeria to come to Cameroon and meet our French brothers, as Jongu Poncha put it on the head. Should we be killed today in this manner? Should the president say that they will never allow Anglophones to partake in the solution? The solution, they will do everything to make sure that we who fought for this thing should be isolated. This should not be the story of Cameroon, that in every turn and corner, the Englishman, even when they say that John Fundi won the election, they say that because he's Anglophone. Today, they are saying the same thing to us, that because we pick up arms to defend ourselves. Something that opinions in the Francophone region believed that we had the right of self-defense. Now, if they have accepted that there was a problem, let us sit together and stop pursuing this endless killing. Okay. But I would say that I recognize that the Cameroon government have not closed the door because of the follow-up committee still carry out its work with the mandate from the presidency. But we are saying that it is time for both people to sit together, and we are seeking for a new social contract to how we can run this country with our vision of one country, two people. Okay. That is our vision, one country, two people.
Dr. Ningonyam, you got what he said. He said he described the war as a war of shame. Yeah. Is that how you see it?
Yes, of course, it's a war of shame. I mean, it's a war of shame because this problem actually would have been solved just when it started if we did the right thing. And even right now, if we want to end this war now, 1 month is too much and the thing is over. So it's just about doing what is right, doing what is just, and doing what is good. Not running away. You can't run away from a problem. Face the problem. Face the truth. Use the truth to solve the problem. If you go around, turn around in circles and not face that truth, then you're only postponing it to another day. Like I was saying, what we call the major national dialogue was a golden opportunity to solve that problem, but we choose not to solve the problem. We choose to play around it, and then here we are today with more deaths and more chaos on our hands. Yet if we had gone to that thing and faced the truth and spoke the truth, those problems would have ended in two weeks. Now we are back to it again, and we must solve this problem, and it will be the legacy of His Eminence Christian Cardinal Tumi that he is resting and knowing that his people have been liberated, in the sense that they are no longer under the yoke of something that they don't like, that we are in a country that is not divided, is one and unified country, but with two people, two cultures who respect each other. No one is a slave to the other. No one is a slave to the other. The Anglophones might be in a minority in terms of numbers, but that doesn't make them your slaves. No, that's not true. English is not inferior. I think it's just when you are drunk, you think English is inferior. To be treating people who speak English as being inferior because they speak English is a sign of lack of education. So we go for things that don't really matter, and we are saying that we have come of age. And we have come to a point in time where we have to solve the problem. And I bet you this problem will be solved in less than a month when the president gives the green light. President Paul Biya will give the green light. And this will be solving the Anglophone problem, correcting the economics of the nation, correcting the politics of the nation, correcting the development of a nation, providing jobs and opportunities for youths, building a new Cameroon which is solid. That will be the legacy of His Eminence Christian Cardinal Tumi, what he always wanted for his people, and that will be the legacy of President Paul Biya before he leaves. So this is not negotiable, and these are things that are going to happen. Too bad for people who don't believe it. That's what is going to happen. If you don't believe it, it's your problem. And if you don't believe it, please don't stop the people who are trying to do the right thing. It's been a lot of people, whether you're appointed, not appointed, power or not, and so on, a lot of people have used the power that was given to them in confidence by the president to hurt the nation. And we've come to a point to say enough is enough. Stop it. Thank you.
Okay, Capo, many persons will really want to know the power you exert on ground. How many soldiers fighting today are under your command?
We have a very wide network of fighters. As you know, we have been focused, our ideology has been a guerrilla warfare where we carry out sabotage attacks, even within Cameroon. I think some of you would notice that fire incidents that used to happen in Douala have suddenly stopped. We have operations within Ambazonian territory that we have been carrying on. And even more importantly is not the amount of forces that are under my control. This war is being fought not because somebody in the diaspora is the commander-in-chief. Nobody have a solid command and control. The war is being fought because the people feel that there is an injustice. They don't have a meaningful say over the country. The war is being fought because the Anglophones knows that there is no amnesty. The Anglophone knows that our political prisoners who were advocating for this struggle are still in prison. Our people know that our refugees are still in Nigeria. Now my movement has given these voiceless people a voice. The refugees have spoken. We have released a video. They say that they want to go back home under a negotiated settlement. Our people in prison, they say that they want release under a negotiated settlement. Our people in the diaspora have said that they want to return home in peace. As a leader of this organization, we have taken the voice of the people and we are telling Cameroon that it is time for us to come home, accept a negotiated settlement on this basis so that our people can come back home and we can build a new Cameroon together of one country, two people, where each side will respect each other and each side will have a place where they can feel comfortable to express their own identity and their own culture in unison. And this is not too hard to demand. In terms of our ability to command in ground zero, my organization, my person, from statistics from Google, shows that we are the most influential bloc in our struggle. I've been in the top ranks of our struggle. I've been responsible for educating and motivating our people to carry up arms and defend themselves. And so I'm the most credible voice to be able to lead this solution on our path. I led the solution for community education. I led the massive display of Ambazonian nationalism. I am the face of the fighting from the diaspora, and I'm taking this leadership on behalf of all Anglophones to extend this peace plan offer to the Cameroon government, and also to lobby the international community to support this proposition, so that the Cameroon government, because of the lack of trust, we have received surprisingly very good indications from the regime, as Dr. Ni have also expressed. We hope that the head of state of Cameroon will take the right decision to honor this peace plan. It is not shame to accept that we cannot liberate by force. The Cameroon also, they hide their shame behind the national dialogue, but this is not about us. This is about the people who are suffering. Let us end this war of shame. Let us accept the reality of one country, two people, and go back to the drawing board and see how we are not obsessed about our historical past, but look how things have changed. A lot of water have gone under the bridge. Now, how can we two people come together and live in peace and harmony? For us, we have offered a very clear map, and this is an advantage to all Cameroonians to know exactly what we are demanding. We are not demanding that Francophones should not come to our territory or we should not speak French. What we are saying that in the English-speaking part, the dominant language and the medium of education should be English. The judicial system, the jurisdiction should be common law. It should be preserved. There are a lot of examples. Canada is a good example. It should be preserved. We want our municipal police, where our own people can do law enforcement. Right now, there's no law in Bamenda. There's no law in Kumba. It is helter-skelter. We want our own municipal police. We want to control our own fire brigade. Let the children be able to do this. I don't think our Bulu Beti people are so much interested to come and fight fire in Bamenda. They should give us this devolution of power. They should not be afraid of it. It is the right thing to do. It will make Cameroon even more stronger and even more beautiful. This is a war of shame, and we should put an end to the fighting and save our people from ourselves, because the people are trapped in the ideology of the radicals on both sides. And it is time for Paul Biya to honor the first promise he gave when he came to Bamenda to launch his political party, the CPDM. He said that no Cameroonian will have to go to the bush to express their political opinion. Now, the Ambazonian people, the People's Right Advocacy Platform, we have rejected hostility. We have embraced the peaceful path of advocacy for our right. We have offered the Cameroon government a peace plan for autonomy through constitutional devolution, and we hope that the government will reciprocate in a very fair and very just manner, putting the people first.
Now, I don't know whether you saw the letter that was written by Dr. Gabila, who was a separatist himself. He wrote to Mark Barretta on the coming elections and said this was a rare opportunity for the people of the Northwest and Southwest regions to choose the persons that they would want to see as their mayors, their senators, and their MPs, calling on him to also advocate for people to choose their leaders through the ballot box. Did you read that, and did you feel concerned by that call made by a former separatist?
Yeah, I saw the letter, and our reaction has been that I want to just like Dr. Nick have said, and surprisingly, I'm having something in common with the CPDA member. It's very surprising, but I hope that this will usher in Cameroon a new era. This is the first thing our people should know. The old generations that is passing away gave us multipartism. This multipartism is not still something that we envy, because when the Paul Biya give decentralization, they gave us mayors and parliamentarians. There is no council in the English-speaking region that anybody knows the budget of the municipality. Nobody knows how that budget is spent. That same politics of CPD and SDF, we don't want those same politics. Their era have passed. The era where our generation have gone to the diaspora and learned how things work, we have come back home, where our people are more exposed to how things work now. We want a new social contract that we will have direct elections with local electoral bodies that are in charge of that election. We want election law where only people who are resident in a particular place can become mayor. We don't want people in Yaoundé to become mayor in Bamenda. We don't want people in Douala to become mayor in Boya and in Kumba. No, we want residents who can prove that they have been resident in a place for over 1 year before they can stand elections. We want presidential elections where we believe that we have some form. In America, they have electoral college to guarantee that it is not majority that carries the vote. We have to go back to the drawing board. The system of Cameroon is a relic of our colonial past. We cannot still function in that same level. We have to sit down and look how modern world works, design economic system that works for our people, and empower our own people. We cannot be relying on foreign loans, and we don't know how much money is coming from the petrol. We don't even have royalties from those petrol being given to those areas who deserve some handout. So we want a complete new political system, not what we see today. The elections in Cameroon have not saved us any good. Multipartism have not given the small freedoms we have for freedom of expression is still highly restricted. We want a bill of rights. If the Francophone don't want it, but for us, for the New Deal, we want that the English-speaking region should have a bill of rights that guarantees certain rights and privileges for our citizens. That they will have a right to challenge the police officers. You don't have to go to make your ID card. You are presenting your birth certificate, you certify it. You present your ID card, you certify it. They are taking you money. It is a colonial era system of chop a chop, where you appoint people or people take office to collect money from the money they give as bribe. We want a transparent system. If the people in Rwanda can do it, if the people in Singapore can do it, if the people in Hong Kong can do it, we Cameroonians, we can defeat corruption. This electoral system, we want the form of the state should be part of the election. We are not interested, the people are not interested in presidential election anymore because everybody knows that it's a one-party system today. So what we want is that there should be a negotiated settlement. Election should include autonomy for our region. Without including the solution to this problem in the election board, other people have had election like that. Then how can you guarantee that people will vote? Do you think that Capo can go to Kumbu to carry out election without Amoka? So elections right now are not really viable in the English-speaking region because of the conflict. Let us make the resolution of this conflict part of that election debate. We want to see autonomy in the ballot box, and this is an opportunity for Paul Biya to act rightly while he can before the election come and go.
Okay, now, so many persons are worried about the ghost towns, and what is your position about the ghost town? Who is it helping?
The ghost town, for the most part, that means the Monday ghost town that we have, which is a symbol of our collective resistance. That means it's a way for the public, since they have banned the consortium, it means that to express, for us collectively to express ourselves, even civilly, we don't have a space again. It's a crime. The Cameroon will prosecute you. So it is the only way left for our people to express themselves, that every Monday they stay at home. But what our people have rejected are the excessive use of lockdown, where they say, police motor pass jams of man, they not talk sorry, we may go lockdown. This one to show their own power, maybe lockdown, we punish our own people more than we are trying to more than we even make a political statement. Concerning the Monday ghost town, that can only go away if we have a negotiated settlement. It is equal with the fighting, the insecurity. It can only stop when there is a negotiated settlement. The idea that they will have a solution that does not include an input from us who are fighting this war is ridiculous. Who do you want to negotiate? Who do you want to solve a problem with? We cannot treat us worse than they treated the people who fought for the Makiza war. Did they treat the people in the Makiza war like they are doing to us today? No, they had allowed them to go to their villages. They didn't have a DDR center where they take brother to kill brother. We should recognize that we have all made mistakes. The Cameroon government have made a mistake to ban the consortium. That ban should be taken off. If they are sincere that they want to solve this problem, stop the ban against our nationalism. Allow political expression and collective bargain. Let the Anglophone be able to join together. Today, they cannot even allow political parties in Cameroon to campaign. So what type of thing is that? We are living in the 21st century. So what we are demanding is for the human right, basic human right that Cameroon have acknowledged through its international engagement to uphold. Respect the rights of Anglophones. You have recognized the problem. We have fought each other for 8 years. We don't want to fight this war for 10 years or even 1 more years. The election period is coming. It's a unique opportunity to resolve this crisis, and I appeal and I extend the peace plan to President Paul Biya and tell him seize this opportunity. And I am also campaigning for all political parties in Cameroon, all activists. This is not politics. This is human life that are being wasted. It is a war of shame. We are not proud of this war. We are not proud of the killing of Francophones military people who come to our territory. We are not proud to disgrace spoil the image of Cameroon. But we have been forced to do so. And now we are saying that let us sit together as one country, two people, and agree how we can cohabit. And I hope that this message will be picked on, this peace plan will be picked on by everybody in Cameroon, and ask Paul Biya to do the right thing.
Okay.
The ball is in his court.
Yeah, Dr. Nick, how do we get other persons to also cue in with what Dr. Capo is saying in the other groups? Because, like you said, when Christian Kadinatumi came up with the option, it was not only fought by persons from within, but we saw so many groups out there fighting him. And as Capo is saying, so many persons also are not identifying themselves in what he is saying.
Well,
how do we get many more of the separatist group to endorse what he is saying?
Let us start off by congratulating Capo Daniel for making the right step in the right direction and doing what is right. Like I've said before, what is true is true. You don't need truth does not need majority. Truth has got truth has nothing to do with democracy. Truth has got nothing to do with votes. So you can be alone and you are speaking the truth, and you can have 10 million people on the other side who are living in a lie. A lie remains a lie, and a lie can never become a truth just because of numbers. So that is the foundation of things. Where does the truth stand? That thing which is good, which is right, which is just. Once you can identify it and stick with it, whether you are alone, if you are alone, fine, continue in it. But as time goes on, other people will see the light and join you. And there is nothing as strong as the truth. It does not exist. There is nothing as strong as love. There is nothing as strong as wisdom. All the guns, all the governments, all the appointments, all the blah, 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 blah. Nothing is as strong as truth, love, and wisdom. And when you have these things, you have it all. And nothing is as good as having respect for human life. Nothing. So, in the midst of the chaos, Capo Daniel recognizes this truth, and he is extending a hand to everybody, including the government and all the other fighters and all the other Anglophones and all Cameroonians, to say, we were in darkness and the truth is over there, and I have that truth in this peace plant. So it's something for us to bite into, and we would say that we have started to talk about it today. We'll continue to talk about it, and it's just like, you know, when the rain starts to fall, water starts to gather in little drops, and then you have little gullies, and those gullies later on form large masses of runoff water, and before you know it, you have a stream that can sweep away people, like it happened in Boya. But it started as little drops of rain. So we have our little drops of peace today, but it's going to be a massive movement before you know it. And before we know it, the mass of people that are for the peace will be more than those that are for violence, and that is going to cause the shift towards the peace movement. That said, we are still going to have one or two people who probably would not want to follow the mass because of their economic benefits from the war. That is understandable, but we'll see how we can convince them and help them to create industries, create jobs, and so on. And by the way, I think this is the time to say that when President Paul Biya is talking of import substitution, this import substitution will go a long way to solve the Anglophone problem, to solve the problem of youth unemployment in Cameroon, to solve the problems of our poverty, to solve the problem of our underdevelopment. It's about industry. And if you are to step back a little bit, you will see that this our fight between Anglophone, Francophone, Anglophone war, the violence and so on, it all comes from a failed educational system for the past 60 years. So, you know, if we don't correct that, we will not get it right. We might be blaming the French, we might be blaming the English, we might be blaming the Chinese, I don't know who else we are blaming. But the bottom line is, our children don't have food, our children don't have work, our children have no future. Those children, as they are running and dying in the Mediterranean Sea, dying in the Sahara, suffering abroad, it is that suffering which gets people to ask the question, but for heaven's sake, I have a nation, why should I be suffering? And then we start asking those questions. And I'm saying that to solve this Anglophone problem, ENAM must go. ENAM and NASLA must go. They are the tools for marginalizing people, not only Anglophones, but they are the tools used by the colonial people to continue to hold Cameroon by the testes. They must go.
Yeah, but how do you translate words that are declared on TV and what is happening on ground? It must be under a political platform, which I will still come back to you to say how you are going to achieve what you're saying. But I'll stay with you, Capo, and I say we also not been able to translate international sympathy to our subjugation into recognition of Ambazonia Independence Declaration, and there are no longer any chances of Ambazonia independence recognition. That is, at international level, you see no hope.
It is unfortunate that the declaration made by Siseko when he declared independence on behalf of the struggle that for all that period of time, he was picked up. We never materialized. We did not translate the sympathy we had initially from the struggle. The Americans condemned the reaction of the Cameroon government. They came under sanction. The Germans, the sympathy we had initially from the struggle. The Americans condemned the reaction of the Cameroon government. They came under sanction. The Germans also withdrew their support, even in a fight, a legitimate fight against Boko Haram, which we all support that fight against Boko Haram. The Germans withdrew their support and restrictions were put on Cameroon when they received military aid not to use them to fight in this war. So we have a lot of sympathy from the international community. Unfortunately, in our engagement, we never succeeded to translate those sympathy to recognition. And after the talks in Canada in 2023, it was made clear that this sympathy it does not translate to recognition, and no country have recognized our independence or our declaration for independence. So it is not viable at this stage, given our dynamic and given the fighting on the ground. And we must be rational when it comes to the life of our people, to say that, okay, we now don't really need a need to continue fighting if the Cameroon government have indeed come out to acknowledge the problem. The dynamic have changed. But as Dr. Nick have said, there are a minority of people who want to continue to fight for two primary reasons. One is the economic of war. They benefit from the war and they want their money to keep on flowing. They don't care about the blood of the people. They will do everything to let the war continue. Number two is their motivation to fight. Their motivation was not really for the people. They are just fighting for an ideology, an abstract ideology. And that ideology is supreme for them, more above the people's well-being. But we must come to the realization that we started fighting because we were marginalized. We started fighting because we do not feel that we belong to this country or have any meaningful say in how this country is being run. And if there is an opportunity that we can change that formula, then it takes away the reason, the raison d'etre to fight. And we can now say that to our people now. Now there is no longer a reason to fight. Our identity have been preserved. Our statehood have been preserved. We have total control of governance in this country, and we can share in this glory of a dream of Pan-Africanism, of one Cameroon, two systems. It is not a bad thing to accept this, especially when it comes to the life of your people. It's just reality. All over the world, it is normal. Even in Ukraine, at times the people they look at the prospect of winning and say, we can win Russia, we can't win Russia. It is only in Cameroon where for you to say that we can no longer win now. It means that some people will say that might be they have bribed you. But I think that those are just delusions. It's not backed by any evidence. Nobody will come to take the hit that we do, to do the things we do, to go against a government because you wanted money. It is just ridiculous. But we know that there are people who came into this struggle already with pre-made ideology, and they will fight and die not for the people, but for that ideology. This is not for us an ideological war. This is a physical war where people are dying. It is for our identity, it's for our culture. And the idea of independence, we must come to realize that it is also, nobody is 100% independent. So long as they preserve our identity, they preserve our statehood within one Cameroon, then I think that we have a formula where we can live together in peace. So long as the police on our street, our people, the grievances is deep. We do not really like the conduct of the Cameroon police and gendarmes in our street. We don't really like them. We want them replaced. We want our own municipal police. We want police that are accountable to our mayors or to our governors that are elected by our people.
Yeah, but Capo, you must also understand that one of the biggest problems Cameroonians are faced with today is exactly what you're talking about, municipal police. A very big problem across Cameroon today. But what would account for the loss of interest by the international community to what you guys have been fighting for?
It is a claim of exclusive power by some individuals who are very corrupt, who are taking advantage of the grievances. When people come and make themselves president, when we don't even have a country, we have not elected them. And they didn't just make themselves a president. They actually claim exclusive power. In their own reality, we are already independent. Whether they are killing people, they are happy that we are winning. So people are also obsessed. You know, when you get into a war for 7 years, if you are not careful, you run into mental problems.